So, but I didn't get this answer. What is the goal that you want?
The goal is for indigenous people to migrate on our land without no artificial border blocking us.
Okay, so there should be no borders. No borders.
No artificial borders.
So now what? Didn't they have borders?
We didn't have walls. We didn't have.
But you had borders, didn't you?
We had our territory, and again, our territory.
Okay. So where? Wait a minute. You're from Naui. That's in Mesoamerica, isn't it?
Oh, thank you.
But Naui, is that here in California? Is that here in California?
Oh, no, thank you. I just gave you
Is that here in California? Naui, you're the home country, your nation.
Thank you so much.
Where is it?
What?
I'm asking you, where is it located?
I got to interrupt this. But what's located?
I told you, your country, that Naui that you identify with.
Okay.
Where is it?
Naua's.
What's this?
Okay, Naua's is Naua's was throughout what is so-called now Americas. There's Naua's.
What do you mean Americas? Because the term wasn't there. I have to ask questions to get precision.
It's called we called it a Nauac. Okay.
Okay.
The
Where is
Naua's. The Naua's there's Naua's in Salvador. Naua's in Durango. Naua's in my parents are from Jalisco. That's where the Naua's were from. Okay. But the Naua's we spoke Nahuatl, which is the family language of the Utu Aztecans. The Tomba right here in LA was part of the Utu Aztecan language. The Hachiman, where I was born.
Were they Nahuas? Were they Nahuas?
The Tomba,
so they're not Nahuas.
They're not Nahuas.
Okay, so then you're not. Then you shouldn't live in California, then, right? By your logic.
No, because I said as indigenous people.
Chanel, did you get that? So we're getting some borders that he doesn't. You believe in borders. You do believe in borders.
I don't believe in your borders. I don't believe in the walls.
But you believe in your borders.
No, I said no. You're just putting words in my mouth.
Then you give me words.
We believe indigenous people migrate in indigenous land. We as indigenous people.
So where should you be migrating?
I'm migrating. North America.
Okay, but wait a minute. You said Nauas is not here. You said Tongva is here. So that means it's not your land.
We're brothers and sisters, we're cousins.
So you're going to take their land without their permission?
We're not taking away their land. We're going to respect the Tongva land. As a matter of fact, we're going to rebuild the Yagna. We're going to make Yagna great again. We're going to make the Hachiman people great again. We're going to build all this.
So what does that mean for me?
It means that you have to respect indigenous people. That's what it means.
Do I have to leave?
No, as long as you respect indigenous cultures, indigenous peoples.
Well, I mentioned names.
If you're gonna force English on us, then you can go to England. If you're gonna force, but we want to reclaim our history back, our indigenous languages back, our names back. And that's what we want.
Can you give me some Nahuatl? Can you speak it?
No, unfortunately I don't, because the Spanish and the made it a crime for us to speak our language.
It's not a crime now. Can you learn it?
Yes, I'm trying to learn. Yes, I am learning it.
Okay, so where are you going to live? You're going to migrate or live somewhere?
I don't know where I'm in. Right now I'm living in California. I'm living in Orange County.
What are you going to call it? You're not going to call it California anymore?
We're going to call it whatever right here, we're going to call it Yagna.
What do you mean here? Give me some
Los Angeles County.
LA County?
It's called Yagna. To me, it's called Yagna. It's still called Yagna.
Okay, you call it Yagna. But LA County, those are artificial borders too. So what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
You mean the county borders for Los Angeles County are quote-unquote artificial. So what do you want to do? But you want to call LA County.
The Tongva is going to decide that. The Tongva are going to decide what...
What if the Tongva don't want it? There's people like you have background who don't want to go backwards.
Just like there's people like you that don't want. There's people that call us Americans that don't want to build a border wall.
Well, we have a political structure. We have a president who was elected, even if they didn't elect him. What kind of a governing structure would it have? Now what? What kind of structure? Would it be a king? Would it be a government of elected officials? What would it be?
It'll be like the cultures, the way they had their ancestors.
What was it like?
Depends.
Well, now what? Tell me about yours, because you're an expert.
Okay, the Nahuas. We had like communals.
Meaning
that we decide as a neighborhood. We decide we speak. We say what we want. And we have a speaker. That goes to the next councils and say, well, this is what my neighborhood wants.
How do you want to set all that up?
How are we gonna set it up? It's little by little. We have to build. It's not gonna happen overnight.
Okay, so does that mean you're going to have to take the homes away that are here, or the homes that are in Torrance?
No, we're going to take away homes. We're not going to...
Okay, but I don't want to be a part of this structure, so what's going to happen to me? Are you going to arrest me or put me in jail if I don't do it?
In jail. If you don't want to be a part of it, we're just going to move on.
Okay.
But if you start doing hate crimes against us, then if you start doing hate crimes, you start...
Okay.
Okay, we gotta go.
Still too loud?
Okay, we're leaving. Let's go, Ma. Let's go. Let's go, Ma.
Are you leaving?
Oh, we gotta go because we don't want to trouble. Huh?
You're leaving now.
Yeah, we're leaving.
Okay.
No, I know. We're leaving. We're leaving.
I didn't hear any real plans here. I don't want to be a part of that. A lot of people don't want to be a part of your plan.
You don't have to be part of it. That's when you can go back to Europe and say, okay.
Why do I have to go back to Europe?
That's where.
Why did you say that?
Listen.
You said I had to go back to Europe? Why? Why did you say that? That's discrimination. I'm an American.
No, I said.
You said go back to Europe. You said I could stay here, then you say I have to go back to Europe.
Okay,
which is it?
Let me finish. I said, if you're not happy with the indigenous people, living the way we lived before Columbus.
Because you said you can live.
Okay, let me finish. You can stay, but if you're not happy, then your only option is to go back to Europe.
No, I don't have to go anywhere.
Then don't.
I don't have to go.
You're gonna be living under indigenous law. That's the
What
way.
do you mean? So you're going to take power over me? You're going to force me to accept you?
No,
so which is it?
You're America is forcing indigenous people. Just like
how?
You were saying right now.
I'm asking you questions about your culture.
Let me finish. Right now, you were saying you're proud that the Donald Trump approved that the quota.
Absolutely.
Pipeline. The treaty was a program. It was a treaty. That's a treaty. That's the Americans broke that treaty. That's Lakota Sioux land.
I don't agree with you on that. By the way, I'm putting up the light just so it's not dark.
The law was broken. That's treaty land. All right. So they broke it.
But you want to break a whole bunch of other treaties to impose on Naui culture,
no.
And you still haven't told me where it's going to be.
All the indigenous
no, they haven't.
They have.
No, they haven't.
Have.
Talk about the Pequot War and how Indian upon Indian. Do you want to go back?
There's always going to be fighting. Europeans were fighting each other.
Indians were fighting each other too.
Everybody fights each other. We're brothers and sisters.
And notice how the fighting has actually stopped here. Do you really want to go back to 1100s, 1200s, where there's no electronics, where there's no innovations? Do you want to go back to that? I'm asking you.
People had doctors, architects, colleges, schools.
Okay, would you want to be under that quote-unquote Mexican medicine? Because a lot of it had to do with bloodletting, and it had a lot to do with killing. Do you understand that there wouldn't even be Mexicans today if they were killing each other off? No, it wasn't. Killing innocent people and sacrificing them to a sun god is not civilized. They were killing their own people. Look at the codices. Look at all the codices in the indigenous. You want to go back to that?
But you yelling over us, that's not gonna prove your point. Now,
you're right, it won't. But I'm just shocked.
Bombing, but Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
That's not a sacrifice. It was a defense mechanism. It wasn't a sacrifice. No, it's not. So he is equating a defense act on Japan with
100,000 innocent people.
Okay.
What do you call that?
So
killing 100,000 people in Hiroshima and another 100,000 people in Nagasaki. What do you call that?
I call it a defense mechanism that was necessary.
Innocent people?
Yes.
You had to kill innocent people. 100,000 people.
Can I respond? Because it's a great question.
100,000 people.
Yes, a lot.
Okay, then
and let me explain why. We had two choices. Either it was an atomic bomb, or the Americans and all of their allies would have had to invade Japan.
That's savage.
That would have been, to invade Japan would have been savage. You know what was also savage? Was Pearl Harbor being attacked.
That's savage.
That was savage. You're right.
How many people died in Pearl Harbor?
Too many.
How many?
So the numbers exactly I don't know, but too many.
Compared to 100,000 innocent people, children,
innocent people here too. Absolutely.
Now
I want to go back to this. Do you want to go back to a political system?
That is savage.
It's terrible. War is hell.
Nothing
I agree with you.
To the Aztecs, what the Americans did
they
with the
sacrifice human beings.
They would have been the people that sacrificed. They would have been dead anyways because they were captives of war.
Why? Wrong. No, they were political enemies. Moctezuma removed his political enemies. You don't know your history, man. You don't know your history. I want everybody to see this. I want everybody to see this.
You can check it out.
So do you want?